Back today at 12:45. You can go in here in 45 minutes. They're currently minus 150 on the money line. Nick Pivetta will be going for the Pods, and Kaiwan Tang is going for the San Francisco Giants. And today, San Diego State, Sean Lewis named his starting quarterback. Jaden Denigal, the transfer from Michigan, has been named as the starting quarterback for the upcoming season for the Aztecs. Hardworking people need a hardworking candy bar packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel. Payday is definitely working hard for you, so grab one now to power you through the day. Payday peanut caramel bar. Get to it.
Let's get it going on a Wednesday. It's San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy along with you till 2 o'clock today. And Sammy, the Padres and the Dodgers are tied atop the NL West. San Diego State has named their starting quarterback, Taylor Swift. Her podcast will debut in just a few hours' time. We got a busy one in the sports world today, Sammy. Let's get it going on a Wednesday. Let's start with what happened last night, and we'll get to that Aztecs news in just a second. Padres, Dodgers, all tied up, top of the National League West. The identical record with one game to go between these two teams before they face off on Friday in Los Angeles. It was a weird game last night for the San Diego Padres. If you were watching up in the Bay Area, that wind was working early. Manny gets on with that bloop early in the game that three different Giants players should have caught. Then he ends up scoring on the balk from Robbie Ray. That was the first run the Padres scored. And then Rafael Devers smokes a line drive right at Manny Machado. It almost looked like it was going to hit him in the face for a second. Somehow he lost a ball in the lights that was line drive right at him. And then Wilmer Flores has that swinging bunt that scores the dude from third base. It's a weird game all around, but then Jose Iglesias hits his first home run as a Padre, which he's had almost a couple hundred at-bats as a San Diego Padre. The fact that that was his first home run kind of surprised me. And Jackson Farrell Merrill comes up big with a home run as well. And then to add on to all the weirdness, for some reason, Mike Shildt trotted out his closer, Robert Suarez, who's been worked as much as any closer in Major League Baseball, with a 5-1 lead in the ninth inning to go get the save that wasn't a save because it was a more than a 3-run opportunity. Weird game in the Bay Area last night, but no one cares how you win. They care that you won. And the Padres did win. And the Dodgers did lose in extra innings to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim yesterday. So all is good in Padres world, tied atop the NL West. If you would have bet me money, Sammy, on March 26th, the day before the season began, that on August 13th, the Padres and the Dodgers would be tied atop the NL West, I probably would have said no to that bet because it would have been crazy. But that's where we stand on August 13th. Feels pretty good here in San Diego.
They're playing fantastic right now. Padres certainly are putting everything together, and this is what you kind of thought of when they got everyone at the deadline. You thought this is a bullpen that can just shut people down, and the Dodgers are really struggling. I mean, the Padres have gone 13-3 in the last 16 games, so they're putting a lot of pressure on them. But in terms of like the Dodgers, the bullpen is just not there right now, and a lot of that is due to injuries. But they kind of keep saying that all year, and they're not getting them back. So maybe at one point they're all back, but again, it's crazy. The Angels are 5-0 against the Dodgers this season, which
Wild.
is a beyond me stat. But
you see the triple play last night?
Unbelievable. Yeah, Ohtani lining it up.
God hates the Dodgers too. It's hysterical.
I mean, this is setting up. I mean, the MLB has to be just salivating right now. They're going to get this matchup over the weekend. So we'll see heading into Friday whether the Padres have a 1-game lead, maybe the Dodgers have a 1-game lead, or maybe it's tied. We'll see what happens today. Dodgers playing tonight and Padres playing here in 45 minutes. But yeah, like looking a little bit forward, I'm really curious against the Dodgers of what back end plays better, because watching both games last night, the Dodgers back end, they got nothing from Conforto and Alex Call, who they got over from at the deadline. Really, it's giving them no production at the back end of the lineup. In the first half of the season, we're kind of saying that a lot about the Padres. And now you got Fermin, you got Laureano, O'Hearn. All these guys are really kind of producing. I mean, look, last night, Jose Iglesias hitting the 2-run shot. It feels like the supporting cast is really chipping in for the Padres. I think that's going to be a big thing going into the weekend for the Dodgers and Padres, is what non-stars perform. Because I really do expect the stars on both teams to come through. It's going to be a big-time matchup, probably going to be elevating play. But, I mean, it sets up for a hell of a showdown this weekend, and I can't wait for it.
I can't wait for Friday, too, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got a busy day on the show today. The old P, Petros Papadakis, is coming on at 12:30. We'll talk some Padres Dodgers with the old P. I'll also get deep into the NFL with him. Can't wait for that. And I did want to ask him about the Venmo history of college football quarterbacks, because I feel like Petros is going to have the best take in the world on that. Don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Him and Matt Money Smith have the best bit I've ever seen in radio that's going today, and it's Michelada Mondays.
I don't know what this is. What is this?
It's on Mondays. It's just
today's not Monday, Sammy.
It's not Monday, but I listen to them and it's Michelada Mondays. They just drink micheladas. I don't know if they're drinking during the show.
That is a rip of Bar Cart Friday. We might have to sue the old P. What are we thinking here, dude?
I think they've been around a little. I don't know when they started that.
Let me guess. Keg and Bottle sponsors it. No, that's our boy Tony Kanja. He's ours. All right, the old P. Stay away from him. But that'll be fun. I love chat with Petros, one of the goats of sports radio, and that'll be fun at 12:30. And then coming up at 1:45, very end of the show, we're gonna sneak in one last interview. Because Chris McVeigh, who is outstanding player for SDFC, is going to be jumping on the show. We'll get ready for their matchup coming up this weekend. Right now, it is time for the big three. Before we get to it, Sammy, last night I kind of went to bed thinking that the Padres would make a change coming into today, and I haven't seen it if they're going to. I thought they might try to push Nick Pivetta and go with someone else today so that Nick Pivetta was pitching to start the Dodgers series, which is a little bit of an irrational move if you're Mike Shildt. But I kind of thought they were going to do it.
That's interesting because, yeah.
As of now, he's scheduled to start in 35 minutes when the game starts?
Right. So, I mean, he's
going to start, but I thought they might push him.
It's interesting because, it's also for the Dodgers too. They're pitching Shohei Ohtani today. So it's kind of like I get both teams are going with their best ace starting pitchers. We'll get over the pitching matchups over the weekend. They obviously each got, one more game to play today, but it is interesting that both teams aren't doing that yet. And I'm really curious for next week when they play in San Diego, A, how they line it up, and two, the bullpen for the Padres is fantastic. The Dodgers bullpen's been really struggling, but they're expected to get some arms back. How do these teams? I wouldn't be surprised if next weekend we see a lot more higher scoring games than this weekend because they've seen the bullpen.
Michelada Mondays. That makes me mad for some reason. I'll have to get to the bottom of that.
Michelada Mondays. It's the best.
Let's get to the big three. Sammy takes us through the top stories in the world of sports every single day. Sammy Long, if you will, please smash that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The big three.
If you'd like to watch this show on YouTube, we'd love to have you at San Diego Sports 760. We got Tyler in the chat, LFGSD. Yes, indeed. Dave also in the chat, just saying LOL. I don't know if that was about Bar Cart Friday or what.
Michelada Mondays, maybe.
And our buddy Rich, can't wait until 12:45. Sammy's long shots and Padres baseball.
Oh, shout out to Rich, man.
Going to be competing. I bet you Rich is going to be watching the Padres, not listening to long shots.
He said he's excited for both.
You can do both.
You can watch the Padres. You can listen to long shots. You do the same thing.
How'd you do last night? I didn't even check.
We went 1-2, and Arnia Sabalenka is playing right now, so we'll know if she
lost.
Listen, 2-3. Again, I'm not picking money lines. It's called long shots for a reason.
All right, where are we starting at the big three?
Guess what? San Diego State football almost back. Jaden Denegal, the transfer from Michigan who backed up Alex Orji at Michigan last year, was been named the starting quarterback for the Aztecs this season. What are your expectations for Jaden Denegal?
So let's get into this a little bit because this happened at 11:46-ish. So right before we got on the air, so I had time to collect my thoughts a little bit. Jaden Denegal, 6'5", 235. That's his measurables, meaning he looks like a quarterback. San Diego State hasn't had one of those in a while. I guess Moose a couple years ago had a similar-ish body type, wasn't quite as tall, but Jaden Denegal looks like a starting quarterback at the college level. Hell, he looks like an NFL quarterback. You know who else is 235, 6'5"? Be Josh Allen, who Allen. I'm not comparing the two.
Let's not put that kind of pressure on him.
I'm just comparing their bodies, Sammy. You know me. I'm a very visual person. But Jaden Denegal certainly looks the part. From what we've heard about camp, the fall camp and the spring camp, Jaden Denegal has a massive arm. He can launch the ball down the field. And what we know about Sean Lewis, especially on second and short situations, especially early in the game, he loves to uncork one deep shot early on in games. So Jaden Denegal fits what Sean Lewis is looking for. It's all going to come down to who he is mentally. Is he going to be able to keep up with the Aztec fast, quote unquote, offense? Is he going to be able to be on time, which was something the Aztecs had a real problem with last year? And is he going to be able to keep the offensive line from committing so many GD penalties, which was the thorn in the side of the Aztecs a year ago? I'm really excited about this. I figured this was going to be the lean, that Jaden Denegal would be named the starter. I still think Bert Emanuel Jr. is going to get playing time because he's that perfect change of pace quarterback who in college football, I don't mind a two quarterback system. I really don't. but I did think they were going with Jaden, and I'm glad they did.
Yeah, Denegall's exciting. Watching a lot of Michigan last year, Sharon Moore, a lot of the Michigan fan base actually frustrated he wasn't playing. Alex Orji was the guy. Now, I got to give him credit. He did beat Ohio State, but he had 62 yards passing, interception in that game, 2 interceptions. So it's not like he lit the world on fire. A lot of people were calling for Denegall to be playing. Sharon Moore, it seemed like Alex Orji was his guy, so we didn't see the field. But this is big. And, I mean, let's just be honest. The quarterback play for the Aztecs the last 5 years haven't been good. It's been a tough watch at times, and it feels like now you have a guy who's a former 4-star recruit could really come in here and change the offense, and it's exciting because listen, you got a big time running back. You got, Lucky Sutton there. You got a lot of guys. This offense now has some juice to it. And it felt like last year there were games like the Cal game where they were hanging in it. It just the offense really couldn't put something together. It's nice seeing Sean Lewis year 2 installing his system he's bringing over from Colorado. And I think Denegall's perfect guy to lead the charge for that.
Yeah, a year ago, it felt like they were close a lot of times, but just didn't have that killer instinct once they got into the red zone, and didn't have the killer instinct in games. I look back at the Oregon State game, which was early in the season a year ago. And it was a close ball game. I think the final score ended up being 21-0.
Yeah, they fumbled on the goal line.
Yeah, but they fumbled on the goal line. They had multiple penalties inside the red zone that knocked them out. And it's just they were shooting themselves in their own foot. We'll see if Jaden kind of brings some calmness to it as a veteran at the collegiate quarterback position. And hopefully this works out nicely. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't. What's next?
James Cook signs a 4-year, $48 million contract to end his holding with the Buffalo Bills. Fletch, does Buffalo have the most pressure on it? Pressure team in the entire NFL going into next season?
You love this conversation. And
well, he signed today.
I mean, obviously the answer is yes. The Buffalo Bills have to get over the hump of the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason. Obviously, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens are both in the same position heading into this year. Are we going to see one of those teams get to the Super Bowl? And both teams will have the most pressure as they're currently constituted until they get to the Super Bowl.
But so you think they have more than Baltimore?
I'd say it's dead even between those two teams and dead even between those two quarterbacks because we've seen both of them have MVP caliber seasons. Did Josh Allen win the MVP last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both have MVPs. So yes, they both have a ton of pressure on them to get over the Kansas City Chiefs, just like every team in the NBA during Michael Jordan's run of dominance had a ton of pressure on them because they had to get over the hump. And yes, I did just compare Patrick Mahomes to Michael Jordan. You're welcome, Sammy.
Solid comparison. James Cook. Listen, this is
$30 million guaranteed is too much for a running back, by the way.
It's a lot of money. Now I'm going to give the Bills some credit. I do think this was smart to pay him in terms of. I think at the end of this deal, the Bills could be looking back, going, "Why are we paying this guy this much amount of money when you're drafting guys? Ray Davis is there. They got a lot of young talent. That's not necessarily a starting caliber running back. But to be fair, your MVP quarterback. I mean, this team has looked a lot different the last 2 years with James Cook. He balled out against the Chiefs in these games, and before it was always like it was Josh Allen to be Superman, and we've seen that year in and year out where he's running every time, he's taking hits. He's going to take less hits during the regular season. So I do think it was a smart ad for Buffalo. Now, in terms of them being the most pressure, I totally agree. I think that they far and away. And this just goes back to my conversation about why I get frustrated with Josh Allen's an amazing player. I get frustrated with the media narrative on the Bills because it feels like they get a lot of excuses made for them, whereas Baltimore doesn't. Like Baltimore is a team that he's lost to Mahomes once. Like Josh Allen, amazing player. And if you're taking a prototype quarterback, you might take him 1 or 2 overall. You debate with Patrick, but this is a guy who was 0-4 against Mahomes in the postseason. 0-1 against Burrow in his own house and barely beat Baltimore, who got outplayed. Lamar had 2 touchdowns. He had 0 touchdowns in 127 yards passing. So at some point you have to get over the hump. And I feel like Buffalo runs the same thing back over and over every year with the same kind of defense. Listen, it's their show. I can't believe Sean McDermott's lasted this long, but if they get over the hump, then I guess it's all for the right reasons.
God, I hope they win this year. I really do.
You don't believe in your Niners? You don't
get to the Super Bowl, not win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, you got to have another team to
just
root for.
Beat the Chiefs in the postseason. God, I'm so sick of this from Sammy Long.
No, you're gonna have to hear. This is the thing.
The truth is, the difference between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen in the playoff conversation is Lamar Jackson has some real playoff stinkers, and Josh Allen does too. And not all of them are Lamar Jackson's fault, right? But they were more obvious more early on in Lamar Jackson's career where the narrative got created around him that he's a bad playoff performer.
But I could argue that Josh Allen has had more help on his offense than Lamar Jackson has had in his offense.
That's probably fair. All right, quick break. We'll get to the final story of the Big Three coming up next. I also want to get a little more into the Aztecs naming Jaden Denegal their starter, and Padres-Dodgers is on the horizon. Nick Pavetta going for the Pods today. Is that a mistake? Let's talk about it coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
We are what, Fletch, do you understand that we are a week away from being in Las Vegas?
Hells yeah, brother.
A week away from being in Las Vegas. Circa put us up out there. We love Circa. Circa Million, Circa Survivor. Two things you get to do this season. Season-long NFL fun. I'm talking about Circa Million first. Circa Million, you pick 5 games against the spread each week. So maybe you're a quantity guy. You think you know more than the books. You think that overall you're going to win over the season. You can win up to $15 million in prizes. Just looking at some week 1 lines. Maybe this is what I'm going with. Maybe Philadelphia to cover the spread against Dallas, -7. Chargers or Chiefs favored over the Chargers by 3.5 in Brazil. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers 3-point favorites on the road, taking on his former team, the New York Jets, and Justin Fields. Might like Justin Fields to cover the spread there. Ravens Bills. We were just talking about it. What team has more pressure on them going into this season? Ravens +1.5 in Buffalo Sunday Night Football. I think maybe Mark Andrews catches the ball this time. I'm rolling with them. Those are just my picks, though. You do whatever you want. 5 picks each week against the spread. Now, Circa Survivor. Maybe that's a lot for you. Maybe you don't have time to pick 5 games against the spread each week. Circa Survivor is where you pick 1 team each week. Once you burn a team, you can't pick them again. And it's season-long fun. You're supposed to go 18-0 or outlast the competition. That is the way to go. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere, and win your money now with
San Diego Sports 760. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances from Bryan Adams, Ed Sheeran, Mariah Carey, Maroon 5, Sammy Hagar, The Offspring, Tim McGraw, and more. September 19th and 20th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Buy tickets now at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. And while the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you could be there. 3 chances every weekday for you to win your trip. For 2 plus $1,000 spending cash. Next chance to text and win happens at 1 o'clock on San Diego Sports 760. Get all the info at sportssd.com/festival. That was a lot of words, Sammy.
I was jamming to Houdini. Freaks come out at night.
You really nailed it. You really did. Some comments on YouTube coming through. Our buddy Alexander saying Chiefs are going 1 and done in the playoffs this year. It's set up for Bills and Ravens to take the step forward this year. Sammy, response?
Sammy's
a huge Chiefs fan, by the way.
That's the media narrative been the last 8 seasons. So yeah, let's do it.
The media narrative.
Put your money on Baltimore and Buffalo and see how that happens.
Alexander follows it up with Sammy looks like the entire Scooby-Doo gang combined. That makes sense.
Good.
You do have a little Fred, a little Daphne, a little Shaggy.
A little Shaggy? I can see a little Shaggy with a little...
Who am I missing?
A little
Velma.
touch of Daphne?
Yeah, because the glasses, Velma. She always loses those glasses.
Velma on the squat machine.
How about our buddy Casey? Great show, fellas. Make sure you hydrate with some ice cold Society brews after. Casey, you're the man. I actually met Casey out at one of the golf tournaments I played in San Diego. He works over at Society. I am heading over there right after the show.
Hell yeah, Casey. All right.
Casey, I'll see you there, bro. I'll buy you a beer.
Damn, where was my invite? That's crazy.
You want to come?
Free beer? Hell yeah.
Well, not free. I'm buying it, Sammy. I guess that's kind of free.
So it's free for me.
Free to you. It is San Diego Sports 760. Let's talk some Padres here. Last night was good, right? The Padres win the game. They draw even with the Dodgers in the National League West. The only thing I had a problem with is why the hell is Robert Suarez in that game? And am I the only one that thinks that that's an issue?
It's a massive issue.
Today's not an off day. I hope everyone realizes that. They're playing in 20 minutes? Today's not an off day. What if today it's in the 9th inning and it's a 1-run game? Like, what if you actually need Suarez today and then you have the day off tomorrow? Are you going to use him 3 straight days? Last night seemed like a pretty good opportunity for you to give him the night off, but Mike Shildt goes with him anyways in a 4-run game. Like, I thought it was smart. Right after Nestor Cortez goes out, you bring David Morgan in. That's why David Morgan is there.
Right, David Morgan doesn't suck either.
And he's there to be in games that you already kind of have control over. But why are you bringing in Suarez when you have a 5-1 lead in the 9th inning? It just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I usually am okay with Mike Shilt's bullpen usage. He's been forced, I think, to use them a lot more than he'd be comfortable with this year. And that's going to be a problem later on. But that's what they did at the trade deadline, was bring in extra pieces for it. But the fact that you go to Suarez last night just kind of left me head scratching, thinking about, okay, well, today you get into this situation where it's a 1-run game in the 9th. And I understand you have the off day tomorrow, but wouldn't yesterday have been a really nice night to just give Robert Suarez the night off, who's been used as much, if not more, than any other closer in baseball?
Completely. And it is concerning the bullpen usage. In theory, it's fantastic that we go back to this in a Game 7 situation. If they're playing in Game 7 of the World Series and everyone's available and you're going with those 5 guys, you're shutting teams down. But to get to that down the stretch, you can't deploy these guys out there every night. Ideally, it would be 3 and 2, and you'd be kind of rotating. And then to those games, like last night, you're using your David Morgan, you're using your Yuki Matsuis, you're using your guys like that, where you feel like, especially against a team of the Giants that can't hit the ball. And they've shown that over and over again. This is not really a team that you're scared at once you get a lead with. I'm not saying just throw the game and they can come back to bite you, but we saw this on Saturday. Suarez, they weren't planning to use Jason Adam. Now they had to because Suarez ended up giving him the home run, so they'd use him in the 10th, and it all worked out because the Padres won. Then they used Jason Adam again on Sunday. Suarez, you use him last night. It feels like the bullpen is such a luxury that it can't be the reason why they're winning every game, especially getting in the playoffs when bullpens are super valuable. But if you're going farther and farther in a series, they're going to be able to catch up to your bullpen. This is what you see in playoff series. Usually the first couple games are more low scoring. And then later on, because they might have seen your closer 3 or 4 or 5 times, I don't care. They're major league hitters. They're going to catch up to you. So it's massive. The Padres are playing really good baseball right now. We're definitely nitpicking with the Robert Suarez.
Oh yeah, this is a great thing to complain about. Like, they just tied up the division. They've won 13 of their last 16. Maybe we're just poking at something. It just was head scratching to me that they would even use it.
It is odd. And it is feeling like when you can save these arms, especially because like take last week in Arizona, the Padres were winning the games except for the first one, but they kept giving up runs early, so they ended up having to use these bullpen arms. You feel like that was a game last night. You could have just kind of rested everyone, but listen, this series, they won. They're tied atop the division with the Dodgers. It's big news for the Padres, but we're gonna see this weekend if they really are gonna take that next step and win the division.
Good problems to have. That's what I would say. And look, Mason Miller's obviously still going to be fresh for this one, as the text line's pointing out, and that's fine. But in games where you've had both of them available, Robert Suarez has been the closer, and he still is the closer of this team. So what do I know? There's a reason Mike Schilt's putting on his game pants right now, and I'm sitting right here. Just a little odd to me that they would use Robert Suarez.
But it is true. It is like that. This is the core of the team. Is the bullpen. That's what if you think the Padres are going to go far in the playoffs or win a World Series, it's because of the stars and because of the bullpen. And it'd be a shame to overuse that bullpen, especially with a couple guys in Jason Adam, who has been extremely taxed this year. And then to your point about David Morgan, there's some guys that aren't high leverage arms.
Use them
that aren't bad. Like they're not atrocious pitchers where you're like,
and they don't get a ton of run. Last time was a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a mistake.
All right, quick break. Coming up next, the old P, Petros Papadakis. Let's get to the bottom of what this Michelada Mondays thing is.
Michelada Monday.
I like the alliteration. That's about it. Feels like it was ripped off. Just saying. The old P, Petros. Coming up next, Petros Papadakis joins the show. Can't wait for it. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. "21 days, 11 hours, 32 minutes, and 3 seconds. That is how far away we are from the start of the football season this year. I can't wait for it. If you are in the same boat, now is your time to download the Prize Picks app. When you download it, use promo code Fletch, FLETCH. That is going to get you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks is my favorite app on my phone. I love this app. I've had it since November 2023. Been telling you about it since November of 2023. And Prize Picks is back for this football season. We got the rest of the baseball season to go as well. I love looking around like Nick Pivetta, who's getting started here in about 15 minutes, 5.5 pitcher strikeouts. I like that one. I like it a lot. I'm going more than because he's going to dominate the Giants today. That's what you can find on Prize Picks. Just pick more than or less than on your favorite player stats projections. Or how about your least favorite? If you got the skills, you can win up to 2,000 times your cash on Prize Picks. My favorite daily fantasy sports app, the only one I will use. So go ahead and download it today. Use promo code Fletch. Start taking advantage of the promotions, the Taco Tuesdays and the Flex Fridays. They will keep you coming back for more all season long. And did I mention Prize Picks is the official daily fantasy sports app of the San Diego Padres? How about that for the little feather in the cap? Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get that $50 bonus, and you can run your game all season long on Prize Picks.
This sport is sponsored by eBay. Padres getting going here in about 15 minutes. Nick Pivetta will be on the mound. They are currently a -150 favorite to win that, and they are tied atop the division lead for the NL West with the Dodgers. And Michael Penix got in a fight at camp yesterday against the Tennessee Titans that had to be broken up.
Throw them bows.
Swapping out your tires, there's nothing like it. With eBay, you find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Dude, Will Smith on a Wednesday is crazy. We all remember that one teacher who made a difference, who believed in us, who challenged us, or who just made learning fun. Now is your chance to say thank you in a big way with iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominate an outstanding public school teacher who's gone above and beyond for their students to win $5,000, 5 big ones, to stock their classroom with whatever they need. Today's teacher of the day, Melissa Pitcher, who teaches at Sunset Hills Elementary School in San Diego. People told us that she's inspiring her students through STEAM at science fairs, doing community volunteering and gardening. Congrats to Melissa. You are in the running to win $5 grand for your classroom. Nominate your favorite teacher today at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. Very, very cool that we're doing that here on San Diego Sports 760 and iHeartRadio. The YouTube chat has blown up with people going back and forth about their favorite Prize Picks entries for today. Let me remind you, if you are going to enter a Prize Picks lineup, use promo code Fletch beforehand. That's going to get you a $50 bonus. We're going to have the old P on in just a couple seconds. Petros Papadakis is going to be joining the show, one of the GOATs of radio in Southern California and really the whole world. But I did want to spend one more second talking about the announcement that came out of San Diego State today. If you missed it, Sean Lewis announcing earlier today that Jaden Denegal will be the starting quarterback for the Aztecs here in 2025-2026. Good news for the Aztecs, who bring him in from Michigan. He was on the bench when Michigan won the national championship. Jaden Denegal looks like a quarterback, throws like a quarterback, and talks like a quarterback. When he was asked how he felt about being named the starter, he said, "I'm really excited," which is exactly what you want to hear out of the starting quarterback for the program. Can't wait to see him in action. I do think it's going to be a bit of a dual quarterback. I don't know that. I don't have that sourced, but I think Bert Emanuel Jr. is going to get plenty of run as well. And right now, here he is, the old P, Petros Papadakis, joining us, host of Petros and Money up on AM 570. Petros, how we doing today? How is your life going?
I'm very busy today. I have a lot going on today. Usually my life is about as slow as I can possibly make it. But today I have a lot going on. We have a remote broadcast in Anaheim at the Brewery X. Otani's going to pitch. The Dodgers are in a free fall. And I have an event in Redondo Beach with Eric Dickerson tonight at a private club with a bunch of rich people. And this is my third radio interview of the day. So I'm moving and grooving today in the world of sports inanity.
Well, don't worry, Petros. We'll only keep you for 35 minutes and really leg this one out.
With me. I got an hour drive.
We're going to go.
Try me, you sons of bitches.
We're going to go in depth on Bowling Green's offense. We're just going to really let this one rip.
I'm ready.
All right, well, let's get right into it. So I don't know if you saw this story, Petros, but all of a sudden quarterbacks at college football level, their Venmo history is starting to come out to the public, with the likes of Arch Manning sending money for something called butt stuff. I think Sammy knows what that is. I really don't. And then John Mateer, who's the new quarterback out at Oklahoma, was at Washington State. He has one that's a little more saucy, a little more getting him in trouble, where he claimed he was betting. Now he has said it was just an inside joke. What are your thoughts on quarterback Venmo history?
Well, I think it's a very dangerous thing. We're starting to figure out the impact of gambling in college and pro sports, and it's a lot. I mean, when I was coming up as a broadcaster, it's not something you mentioned. Al Michaels might say like, "Oh, that field goal means something to somebody," but I mean, it was really taboo, and the NFL tried to discourage players from even going to Las Vegas, and now we have 3 pro teams, 4 in Las Vegas. And it's just a different world. But as far as Mateer goes, got to do a few of his games last year. Really impressed with the kid. Spoke with the kid. I don't believe that he is that stupid to do. I played with some guys that are that stupid, but I don't think most of the guys I played with, including myself, would have never survived in the modern social media environment of college football. And I don't think it was a serious thing. If it was, then that's not the same kid I spoke to last year. And even if he did do something like that, like, what are you going to do 3 years later about it? You know, so I don't think it's going to affect the year for Oklahoma. I think it's a story that will go away. But, you know, people dig into your social media history. If you're an SEC quarterback, do you guys think if he was still in Pullman, somebody would have gone through his social media history?
No.
You know, I mean, it's just, you know, that's the SEC, you know, some guy in Starkville, you know, the proverbial mother's basement, SEC blogger, you know, found the stupid post that the guy did when he was a freshman. And it reminded me of a story from like 2005, now maybe a little later, 2008, about like somebody went into like Clay Matthew Jr.'s Facebook history, and it was like a bunch of really racial stuff going back and forth with some guys on his team. And, you know, guys that were his brothers, you know, his guys that he played defense with. And it was clearly an inside joke, but, you know, people went into it. It would be offensive, you know, for people to read, and he had to answer for it, you know. So I think this is a lot more along those lines, you know, a stupid inside joke that he now realizes was not funny in today's climate. And I think it'll be okay.
Petros, what do you think about the all the rookie quarterbacks debuting last week? Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Shedeur. Who impressed you the most?
I don't know. I mean, I don't watch it that closely, to be dead honest. I know Shedeur made news, and then everybody showed like what some other quarterbacks did in their first game, as opposed to, you know, how things ended up. The preseason is an interesting thing in that people don't really show their hand, and everybody plays whatever they would call it, vanilla or straight up stuff. And you're just trying to get a look at different players. So I see on Twitter, and it's like a guy throws a ball to a tight end, like a simple stop route, like over the middle, and the guy's wide ass open, and it's like a 12-yard, you know, completion. And the Twitter handle or the Twitter caption will say something like, "They found their quarterback of the future," and it's like, I think it'll. I mean, I'm intrigued by all of those players. You know, I don't know if Shedeur is going to outplay his draft status. Maybe he already has, but I think the NFL preseason is not a great time to get too riled up about anybody or anything, because it's really like a practice, and the plays that are called generally and the people that are playing are experimental. Even if we see starters, you know, they're still doing pretty experimental things. Kind of like when
Did we lose the old P? You there?
I am here.
Okay, good. The old P, Petros Papadakis, joining us today on San Diego Sports.
Drive.
760. Deal with some phone reception issues. I'm sure he's driving through LA traffic right now. Petros, when
I'm here.
We got you. I hear you now. When you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, specifically one Kansas City Chief, Travis Kelce, and I feel like you're a guy who might know something a little bit about being overexposed in the media. And Travis Kelce, his mom is on the cover of People magazine saying he slimmed down a little bit. He's dropped weight. He's faster than he's been in 4 years. He's going to have the #1 podcast in the world tonight as soon as that episode goes live with him and Taylor Swift. Are you worried about the Kansas City Chiefs this year like the rest of the media, or you think they'll just keep rolling on through?
Well, I think Andy Reid, is a pretty good circus front man, or a guy that really can put a tent over all of it, even though his sweatshirt looks like a tent, but he kind of puts it all the way over. He kind of puts it all the way over the team, and even if they have idiot receivers doing illegal things and terrible things happening with his kid, an assistant coach, like, they've always kind of seemed to be able to juggle whatever distraction. They have a great foundation, it seems, of leadership on defense and offense, obviously. So, I mean, what's obvious to me with the Travis Kelce stuff is, he has a professional, probably with CAA, I would imagine, but a Hollywood-based PR team working for him right now. Like, this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. We're being assaulted with Travis Kelce content because the season's getting started, and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get attention. They get clicks, and people respond to it. So it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. I don't want to see him naked in the water with a trash man's vest on, but that's where
too late.
That's where we are. Yeah, too late, and she's announcing her album. Like, it's kind of like the NFL reached critical mass, and it didn't seem like the NFL was going to be able to get any bigger in this country. And then this Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing happened, and they were able to mine out this whole new fan base or people paying attention and engaging in NFL football, without having to fly to Brazil. So it's pretty remarkable, and I'm sad to say I think we're going to be in it for the long haul as long as he's playing.
Petros, weird news coming out of the Rams camp with Matthew Stafford not practicing. Who do you think is the number one threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
Oh, I don't know. The Stafford stuff is interesting. I think that his back, when he was going back and forth in the off season, and there were all those rumors about him meeting in some weird rich people town in Montana, with Tom Brady, proxy of the Las Vegas Raiders, and all that was happening. It was kind of funny because they were saying, well, this guy's got a bad back and the Rams don't want to invest in it. Well, they did invest in it, and guess what? He's got a bad back. But at the same time, he's a veteran player. And a lot of the time with these injuries, and you guys know, covering NFL football, with injuries like this and veteran players, what tends to happen is when the season comes, they become miraculously healthy and available. And usually that's calculated with the team. So if he doesn't start the season, I'm sure McVay could have success with Garoppolo. Other offensive genius, quote unquote, type coaches like Shanahan have, but I would say shame on the Rams for signing a guy that you knew had a bad back.
And we'll see if Jimmy G can take his eyes off the mirror long enough to actually play in an NFL game. The old Petros Papadakis. I mean, you can't really blame him, right? Petros Papadakis joining us today. Always fun chatting with you, old P. And hey, this weekend should be pretty fun. Two teams atop the NL West going head to head with each other. Are you going to make it out to Dodger Stadium for any of those?
No, but I will be watching and covering it. Friday we're in Thousand. Otherwise we'd be there, but Friday we're in Thousand Oaks doing another show for the people of the Ventura County area. So many counties away from San Diego.
It's just the old Pete Petros Papadakis. All he does is drive to do his radio show in different locations all over LA. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Have a great day, guys. Appreciate you guys, and enjoy your week.
Absolutely. Petros Papadakis right there. You hear him up on AM 570, Petros and Money, Michelada Mondays, which feels like a rip to me, but who knows? Maybe it's legit. We're going to take a quick break. Long shots coming up on the other side. Plus, things are just getting going in the Bay Area. We'll keep you updated there. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. ready for my random internet thing of the day that I'm saying without doing any research on whatsoever?
Sounds smart.
This is good for you, Sammy. Apparently, they've developed eye drops that are going to cure people's needs for glasses by the end of 2025.
Get out of here.
That's what Instagram said. Instagram don't lie.
Oh, Instagram is your source?
Well, yeah. It said, according to a scientific study, I gotta
be honest though, like that's cool, but I like glasses.
You do look good with glasses. You're one of the people I look at. Like I feel like, you know, those movies in the 90s and early 2000s where it's all like the girl taking off the glasses and then she becomes beautiful.
Yeah. Like
you're the
woman.
opposite, Sammy. You're like
I take it off and I'm a monster.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say those words exactly, but you put them on. It's like, oh my God, Sammy Long, he's a dapper young gentleman. You take those things off and we're calling the cops.
Whoa. Yeah. See, well, glasses back in the day used to be, you know, those big hunky spectacles. Like that's not attractive. But now I know people who purposely get glasses who don't need them.
I had those blue light glasses I wear at home when I'm watching TV because my wife said it's going to help our eyes in the future. And I actually kind of like them.
That's so cute. I
think
love
so.
that.
It is San Diego Sports 760. Every time around this day, we do a little something called Sammy's Long Shots, where he builds us out a daily fantasy sports lineup for us all to make some money tonight. So, Sammy, let's not waste any more time. Smash that button.
Let's see. Underdogs? Nah, that's old. Those with a less than good chance of winning? Too wordy. Wait, he's all big time now, huh? It's time for Sammy's Long Shots. Hold on. Can't talk until I say the important stuff. Long Shots is presented by Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Now, go.
Dave on YouTube says you kind of look like Jeffrey Dahmer.
I have got that before.
I will say you don't not look like Jeffrey Dahmer.
You know what? Listen, besides all the like kidnapping girls and doing all that stuff.
You can just stop that sentence there.
No. I'm just saying Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't a bad looking dude.
Yeah, you can probably just stop that sentence a few words ago.
No, I'm just saying we're not condoning his actions. He's a horrible human being. We're just saying that like he is on face value, like, you know.
Tyler says LFG Sammy.
Shout out to Tyler. I was hitting Tyler earlier.
Lots of E's in Sammy. Where are we going?
So Prize Picks took away one of my picks, which is a little frustrating. But
I'll get on the phone with corporate.
Yeah, you need to call them and get this figured out. Okay. But anyway, I got 3 anyway. We're good to go. We got 2 baseball, we got 1 tennis. All right. So we're gonna start with Pete Alonso. Less than 1.5 total bases. And people are going to
just became the Mets all-time home run leader, didn't he?
Exactly. And that is why we're going less than on him. Fantastic player. He's pitching. Carlos Carrasco's pitching against him today. But we're going to go less than because that he was really kind of raking over the weekend trying to get to that number. I feel like we could see a little bit of a letdown. It's a Wednesday. It's a day game. I think 1.5 total bases. He had 3 total bases yesterday, and he had 1 each of the previous 2 games. But we're gonna go less than on that. Okay. Joe Ryan, pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. A nice addition for them. More than 6.5 pitcher strikeouts against the New York Yankees. I don't know if you've seen, but the New York Yankees are struggling. The New York Yankees, they got some serious problems going on there. Obviously, Aaron Judge getting injured is a major impact for them. They lose Juan Soto in the offseason. Still got a lot of guys in that roster, though, that can pick up the slack. You got Juan Carlos Stanton. You got Cody Bellinger. But it feels like Aaron Boone's getting ejected from games left and right. A lot of pressure in New York about whether he's going to be the manager going forward. It is odd how he has been able to keep his job for a lot of years. In a market like New York, where, I mean, hell, look at the Knicks. They just blasted Tom Thibodeau out. He's had the most successful season for the Knicks in the last 25 seasons. Getting the World Series against the Dodgers last year has bought him some slack. But if they don't make the playoffs this year and they're hanging in that wild card race right there, could spell doom for them. Anyway.
Yeah, Taijuan Walker really messed you up. It's Giancarlo Stanton, not Juan Carlos Stanton.
Shut up. You know what I was talking about.
Yeah, we did.
Joe Ryan, more than 6.5 pitcher strikeouts. He's an underrated pitcher for the Twins. I think he gets it going as a big performance against the Yankees today.
Twins no longer for sale, by the way. That came down a little bit earlier today. They were thinking that was the next major league franchise to be sold, and they took him off the market.
Okay. Carlos Alcaraz going to tennis. Less than 18.5 total games. He's playing Luca Nardi today. But again, we're getting to the point in the tournament. It's the middle of the week. They get the rust out. A lot of the top players, the first game, a pro betting tip for tennis, If you take a top player on their first match of a tournament, they're supposed to destroy these guys. They're not even on their level. They're not ranked opposition. Then they usually go a little bit further away. Sometimes they'll struggle a little bit, especially on the women's side a little bit with shorter sets. There only being 3 of them. But Carlos is locked back in. Lucas Nardi, we're going to go less than 18.5 total games. I think he gets this done in 2 sets heading into tomorrow and then the weekend. So to recap, Carlos Alcaraz, less than 18.5 total games. Joe Ryan, pitcher for the Minnesota Twins, going more than 6.5 pitcher strikeouts against the New York Yankees. And Pete Alonso, less than 1.5 total bases against Atlanta. Carlos Carrasco is on the mound for them.
I'm in. I'm submitted. I got faith in Sammy. Do you all have faith in Sammy? I mean, I don't know that it's warranted at this point, but I have faith in Sammy.
First off, why don't you get your betting segment? Okay. Because how did you do when I was gone?
Not important.
Exactly.
No, it is a very hard job that Sammy has, and maybe we should all just be flex playing every day. 2 out of 3, you are so good at, my guy.
I'm a big 2 out of 3 guy, but listen,
if you did that in baseball, you'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'd be hitting 666. Listen, college football and NFL right around the corner. I mean, that's my money time.
And if you want to go alongside us, Prize Picks is the spot to do so. Use promo code Fletch, get yourself $50 bonus. That's going to be fun. All right, hour number 2 is coming up next. We got a lot to get to still, including our plans for tomorrow afternoon. We'll get to it next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. It is currently 0-0 in the top of the second inning for the Padres Giants in the third game of the series. They are tied. Padres and Dodgers atop the NL West for the division lead. And per NFL Network, as of a minute ago, several teams are eyeing Odell Beckham Jr. and that he, quote, plans to play somewhere this season. Progressive Insurance says if you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Get a quote for renter's insurance at progressive.com.
It's hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Welcome to the party, pal. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John and Jim will take over then. Padres are playing right now. So if you're looking for some football talk, this is the hour you want to be here. We're going to go NFL, college football all hour long right here on San Diego Sports 760. In fact, coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to give out some running back rankings heading into 2025 NFL season because we are 21 days, 10 hours away from the start of the NFL season.
3 weeks from today.
Hit us on the text line, 70470. Start your message with team. I want top 5s from all of you out there. Top 5 running backs heading into this year. Not fantasy, not anything like that. Just top 5 impact players from the running back position who you're looking forward to watching in 2025, 2026. We'll get to that in a little bit. Well, also, very sad day in all of the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. is officially retired. Sammy, that hit you in the heartstrings?
He is not retired.
Yeah, he officially retired.
Oh, from Adam Scheffler?
Oh, was it fake?
Yeah, you got baited with that?
Did I get baited?
I just read an update that said he's planning to play.
Wow.
You need to start listening to my updates.
Wow. I did not hear you in that update. That's hilarious. You know, Travis Dale got bit hard this morning, and I clowned him for an hour, so you can clown me as much as you want.
He put a tweet out. He was pissed because a bunch of people started assuming that, and he goes, "No, I'm trying to play. I'm working out. My agent's contacting teams."
Oh, that's hilarious. Dude, the picture that he took with his son outside of MetLife, is that an old picture?
I'm sure people can dig anything up on the internet.
Wow. So Travis Dale this morning on Trending with TD, which is like the news segment over on 101.5 KGB, says, in breaking news, Micah Parsons signs a record-breaking extension with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, what the hell did I miss? He did not. It was a fake article.
Oh, he was just on Twitter and found, yeah. TD.
I know, TD.
Travis.
But I guess it gets me too. Now, the Odell Beckham one, a little less impactful, obviously, but still, it comes for all of us.
Look at Tyler and Dave showing a bunch of love on the YouTube chat.
I know they do love you, and that's adorable. Our buddy Tyler saying, "I always flex the lineups. I can't complain. Profit is profit. It's all about the return on investment." So Sammy deserves a big thank you in my book. Hashtag faith in Sammy. Hashtag thank you, Sammy. And definitely, you don't look like Jeff Dahmer at all. At all.
Again, not a bad looking dude. Just his actions were not good.
All right, let's get to the big 3 of hour number 2. Running back rankings coming up in about 10 minutes. So get those in on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Sammy, smash that button.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
Where we go with hour 2?
This just came in college football, which I'm a big fan of, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. So college football is cracking down on players faking injuries during games. So to read the rule, beginning the season, if a player on the field presents injured after the ball is spotted for the next play, that player's team will be charged a timeout. If the team does not have timeouts remaining, a 5-yard delay game penalty will be assessed, and they will have to sit out for the next play. What are your thoughts on this?
This is because in college football, the game clock will stop if you're faking an injury, and it's become popular, especially a lot of the smaller schools. It leaks all the way to the bigger schools too. This is great. You should be punished for this. Look, we're becoming soccer fans here on this show, especially big fans of SDFC, but this is a huge problem, not so much in the MLS, but overseas soccer, where it'll be minutes and minutes of just clock running while guys are laying down on the ground injured. And in football, obviously the clock stops. And so if players are trying to do this and waste off time, it's dumb, especially when the defense does it, trying to save time for their offense coming back. It is not a very football thing, which is a very tough, earn every second type of sport. I hated this when I saw it in college pop up a couple times last year. I'm glad they're doing something about it.
I'm happy they're doing this. Yes, it was annoying to watch last year in college football. Another rule that I really want change. They need to figure out substitutions, because last year felt like the first year where teams started intentionally, if an offensive team made a change, they would wait and purposely wait the clock out to make a late substitution, because if the offense makes a substitution, the defense is allowed to make a substitution, and it resulted in a lot of delay game penalties at both the college football and the NFL level. I think they really need to get rid of that. That seems like that shouldn't really be a part of the game. In terms of the injuries, yeah, soccer, obviously it's a really big deal in soccer. Guys literally fake injuries so they can get extra time or burn the clock out. And I'm glad that they're doing something about it in NFL and college football, because it does feel like that's been a problem. All right,
here, hang on, because much like in the NFL, if there's any sort of hint of a concussion, a player can't come back unless he's been cleared. So beginning this season in college football, if a player on the field presents as injured after the ball is spotted for the next play, the player's team will be charged a timeout. If the team does not have timeouts remaining, 5-yard delay of game penalty will be assessed, and the player must remain out of the game for at least one down, even if that team is granted a timeout, and may not return until receiving the approval of a medical professional. This is going to stomp it out real quick. Right, as soon as you start messing with yardage, coaches are like, nope, we're done. We're not doing this.
Exactly. Oh, and your star receiver is not going to be doing it. Right. So they have to sit out. Okay, let's head to some comments from Michael Porter Jr., who plays for the Brooklyn Nets now, from the Denver Nuggets. Interesting. So his younger brother, Jonte Porter, got suspended for a gambling probe in when he played for Toronto. He's criticizing sports gambling. He said the enjoyment of the game isn't for the game anymore. It's so that people can make money. In reality, way more people are losing money than making money. He also went on to say, think about it. If you could get all your homies rich by telling them, yo, bet $10,000 on my under this one game, I'm going to act like I've got an injury and I'm going to sit out. I'm going to come out there after 3 minutes and they all get a little bag because you did it in one game. And then he goes on to say it's ruining the integrity of the game. What are your thoughts?
Soft. It's not for you, dude. It's for the fans. And obviously, it's less fun. Okay, NBA players, I get this. It would be easy for them to take a dive. And Jonte Porter, that was his name, right? The guy who had the
his
Discord.
Younger brother, yeah.
He had the Discord account that he was leaking to people saying, take my unders on these games. It's a soft move. In Michael Porter Jr., this is kind of where you got to sort of stay out of it if you're him, because it's not for NBA players. It's not for NFL players. It's not for Major League Baseball players. It's for the people who are watching those games. In 2025, we all have shorter attention spans. We all get that. But in 2025, you better believe that if I have more than on receiving yards for somebody, I'm going to be locked into that game because I want to make sure it happens. If you want the health of your league, NBA, which has 80-something regular season games that does drag through the first half of the season, you're going to want people betting on those games. Otherwise, you might fall into obscurity.
And this is interesting.
And also, betting is fun.
Betting is fun. I completely disagree with this. Obviously, he has his brother is now suspended, so it probably hits home to him. In terms of it creates interest in games where, like, I know people who maybe wouldn't sit and watch any sports. They wouldn't, but they on the Super Bowl, people want to put action on it. They're going to be watching. They want something to do with it. In game start, we play with fantasy football. I love gambling, Fletch. I know you love gambling. I know a lot of our listeners love gambling as well.
It all started for me in a Squares game on a Super Bowl.
Exactly. That's what started for everyone. It was a blast. We were like, this is awesome that you're getting a different, like, if you maybe you're a Charger fan, and if you're maybe not as big of an entire NFL fan, why do you care about the Panthers playing the Falcons? I care because I love just watching the NFL, but you throw a little action on the game and it's a fun thing. Now, I do think it was smart for them. I think professional athletes is different in terms of Michael Porter Jr. is making millions and millions of dollars signing a big deal. So he's not, I kind of mentioned this yesterday, not living with just, the middle class or like just regular normal people like us. He's living in a rich mansion in Brooklyn or wherever the hell it is. Where you see this become a problem, and I am glad they got rid of this player prop bets for college sometimes in the national. That's where college kids, especially not even at the bigger level, like San Diego State, where it's Division I, the games are being televised. It's a big deal. There's a lot of games that aren't televised on ESPN Plus, where Delaware State is playing, that you could easily throw some action on something and tell some kid who's the receiver to just sit out the game or take a dive, fake an injury. So there are problems with this, but I do not think it's ruining the integrity of the game. I love gambling. I think it's added to it. I think it's increased the game, and I love it. They're embracing it. For years, it was don't even talk about gambling. They wouldn't even mention it. It was kind of a taboo word. Well, it's really changed. It's created a lot more interest in every single sport. I think it's massive. I wish it was legal here. And but I think they should keep it.
You got one more?
Yes, comes from our text line, actually. 949. Shador Sanders has an oblique strain. He sat out of practice today. Says, can he still make a run for the starter? This comes after this week where he was still listed as 4th on the depth chart despite having a nice performance last Friday in his first preseason game.
I mean, obviously it depends on how serious it is. This actually, he started practice today with the Browns and then injured himself pretty early on in it and then ended up sitting out the rest of the practice. But if it's serious, obviously they're going to sit him out for a while. It all depends on how big of a problem the oblique is. Now, I think Shador Sanders actually does have a shot at being the game 1 starter because of the public support that he's gotten. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to hear that, and this season is not going to be a postseason push for them anyways. But I'll tell you what it could be. It could be a sold-out home stadium every single week that they're home, and so you're going to want Shador Sanders, who's going to be bringing a lot of those tickets in, if that's the case. But if it's serious, of course, they're going to sit him out. They're not going to take risks. He's one of their biggest investments.
Shador, I've been on record with this. I think Shador should be starting, or at least Dylan Gabriel. If you want to give it to Dylan Gabriel because you drafted him ahead of him, sure. I don't know what Dylan Gabriel warrants a 3rd-round grade. I watched him a lot at Oregon. He had one of the best offensive lines in the country, best receiving cores. Then he plays Ohio State with elite edge rushers, and they just tee off. He doesn't have a big arm. He's not very mobile. Watching Shador Sanders play, I know it's a preseason game. So people are going to, Petros mentioned who was on at 12:30 today about how it's tough to, we haven't seen football in a while, and a guy makes a 12-yard completion on a stop-and-go route. They're playing vanilla defenses, and then all of a sudden he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I get it. You're taking it with a grain of salt. But he did look good, and he looked like a quarterback that, let's remember at Colorado, he didn't have a lot of help. It was really him and Travis Hunter. He had one of the worst offensive lines for the first 2 years. If I'm the Browns, what does Joe Flacco bring me? Joe Flacco is a 39 to 40-year-old quarterback who is not going to be the face of the franchise. It's a loaded quarterback class next year, not even just with Arch Manning, with a lot of guys coming out. Carson Beck could be coming out of Miami. There's a kid coming out of Mississippi State. It's supposed to be really good. So see what you have with your young draft picks. If you start Joe Flacco for the full season, then you're probably picking towards the bottom of the top of the draft again next year. So then you're going to go, well, we have Shador on our roster, we have Dylan Gabriel, and we never got to see him play. See if you have something in those guys, and then if they suck and they weren't the grades that they were drafted with, then you can pick a quarterback next year. But Shador looks like he's got some promise. I would throw him out there and put him 4th on the depth chart behind Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco is beyond me.
San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a quick break. If you're curious about what's going on in the Padres-Giants game, they seem to already be blowing this thing open in the 2nd inning. Fernando Tatis Jr. just hit a 2 RBI single. Jake Cronenworth actually hit a ball off the second base bag and popped way up into the air. That scored a couple runs as well. So Padres are up 4-0 on the Giants. If you're looking for some NFL talk, stay right here. San Diego Sports 760. We're ranking some running backs coming up next, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. You can find us on AM 760 every day of the week, Monday through Friday, noon to 2. John and Jim from 2 to 6 every single day. Tomorrow, we're switching things up a little bit, though. Sammy and I are going to stay on for an extra hour. We're going 12 to 3. John and Jim going to be going 3 to 7 tomorrow because tomorrow night, Aztecs Fan Fest.
Yes, sir.
Sammy and I are going to head out there, check it out. I think the game actually starts at 7 where they're doing a little scrimmage, but fun for the whole family. It is free. GoAztecs.com. You got to claim a ticket there, but it's free to the public. I think it's like $10 to park, and they'll have a bunch of kid stuff going on in the parking lot, and then they're going to play. And it's going to be our first look at these guys coming up tomorrow night with newly named quarterback Jaden Denegal, who's going to be the starter. Sean Lewis announced that a little earlier today.
How many texts are we going to get at 2:00? When people don't realize that we're on till 3.
Do you want to do it like an impression of John and Jim? Can you do it, John? I can do a pretty good Jim.
John, I don't think do it, John.
You got to get more broadcasty. You got to really straighten your back.
What does he say to intro the show? He goes, Southern California and San Diego. What's going on?
What's going on? My name's John Schaefer. I love Ken Palm.
When we
college basketball, is it here yet? It's my favorite.
Dude, how many texts are we going to get when 2:00 rolls around? People will be like, who the hell are these guys?
No, it's going to be text like, oh, thank God it's these guys and not Jim.
Jim will be extra angry tomorrow because they'll be out in the sun by the Snapdragon. It's going to be a little warm, and you know that he's hopefully wears a hat because he's kind of balding on the top.
Hey, no making fun of bald people, Sammy.
No, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying it's a fact. He is bald, and so just expect a little revved up Jim tomorrow.
That's kind of rude. I take offense to that.
We might have some special guests stopping by the way.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Tomorrow's going to be fun. Sammy and I are going to go check out FanFest. I think you should too. Get your first look at this Aztecs team. All right, the Dallas Cowboys are the soap opera that never stops. And we all kind of say that over the years jokingly because it's what it seems like. Jerry Jones went ahead and just said it to all of us yesterday. So he was at the red carpet premiere for the new Netflix show. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's just called America's Team.
Oh, dude, have you seen the trailer for that?
I have. It's a little nauseating. But Jerry Jones on the red carpet yesterday. Yeah, it's called America's Team, The Gambler and something. I can't see the second part of the title. But this is what he said. I'll quote Jerry Jones here for you. The Cowboys are a soap opera 365 days a year. When it gets slow, I stir it up. There is controversy. That controversy is good stuff in terms of keeping and having people's attention. Jerry Jones just said the quiet part out loud.
But this is Jerry in a nutshell, and this is why
we all know it.
We all know it.
We just heard it from the horse's mouth. That's a crazy thing to admit.
This is what happens when you're surrounded by yes men. Okay, when you have every person in your family working for you. I mean, have you seen the draft room where they're all sitting there with their ties and it's like Jerry's at the head of the family? It's like a Sopranos gathering.
Have you watched the cheerleader show at all? I mean, not that I have, but it's on in my house all the time. But Charlotte Jones is a huge part of that.
Right. When you're surrounded by people who say, oh, Dad, you're the greatest. The fact that Jerry can't get through to his head that maybe being the only owner that holds a press conference right when the game ends, he runs down the media scrum before the coaches and players can even get to the podium. So then coaches and players are being asked about things that Jerry Jones said. And to Jerry Jones' credit, he gives, I mean, the media's darling. He gives real answers. He gives hot takes and hot things to say. Where a lot of owners are very measured. It's very lawyery. We're saying everything that's right.
Now, for a second here, Sammy, put yourself in Micah Parsons' shoes. And say Micah Parsons is driving around San Diego right now and just heard me read that quote, or Micah Parsons is sitting on his couch, turned on Netflix, and saw Jerry Jones say that. Is he now thinking to himself, "Oh, so I'm just the controversy for you to keep the Cowboys name out in the media for weeks and weeks and weeks so that you make sure Cowboys are number one on ESPN. So you make sure everybody is saying, oh, Micah Parsons, if he gets traded, Aaron Donald's going to join the Rams." Like that's the game that Jerry Jones is playing. And it's frustrating. If I was a Cowboys fan, I would hate this so much. Me, I kind of love it. Jerry, keep on talking. Keep on doing the Jerry thing because it's clear to me your priorities are not to have a winning football organization. Your priorities are to increase your value year in and year out. And by the way, they have. Last year, like they were the first sports team in America to cross over the $10 billion valuation mark. This year, new numbers came out. They're up over 12. $2 billion in 1 year. It's impressive as hell.
And clearly, if you're a Cowboys fan that's looking like, will Jerry Jones ever shut up?
No.
Exactly. But you hire you're just talking about how the media narrative, it's good when the brand's out there. And you just hired the most vanilla, boring at the presser head coach in Brian Schottenheimer there is, who's not going to give hot takes, who's not going to do this. This is the show. Jerry Jones is not going anywhere. He's going to do this until the day he dies in terms of, and credit to him. If I was that rich, I would be running a football team. I feel like I would have the wherewithal to realize that, hey, maybe I'm not a head coach and I need to step back at this thing. But it's ironic that he has these comments when he's talking about the show and how it's all about the brand, it's all about the media. And you hire Brian Schottenheimer over the former All-Pro best quarterback corner of all time in Deion Sanders. I mean, that would have been a show. Are you kidding me? If you'd have lured him away from Colorado and drafted his son?
Belichick would have been a bigger show.
Belichick, but he doesn't really want that. He just wants him to be the star of the show. And I think that's a really good point about Micah Parsons. I mean, they people forget they extended the CD deal out a long time until they got it done right before camp. The Dak Prescott was a saga that went on for years. I mean, this is just. They want to be
the Brian Schottenheimer deal they buried on a Friday night, late
of the Super Bowl week, and then Luka got traded to the Lakers the next day, so no one talked about it.
It's all game, man. And Jerry Jones, I guess you would say he's pretty good at that game because he has the most valuable football organization in the country. And by the way, he's not in New York or LA; he's in Dallas, Texas.
And think about how they opened their Hard Knocks. Remember how they opened it with the drone shot? Remember they had the drone going through the entire Jerry's World and the mall and the restaurant.
And then it's him eating his McDonald's.
They have
salt on top of the patty.
Yeah, I'm like Jerry, come on, bro. Let's worry about our heart.
He's still alive. He's doing okay.
Yeah, I guess we should all take a note from Jerry Jones, but
more McDonald's. That's the note.
The Cowboys, man.
Text from the 858, and this goes in line with what's happening right now. I think Bob Melvin is going to get let go at the end of the season for the Giants. The Giants look like the bad news bears. The score is currently 7-0. The Giants kind of suck right now.
We were talking about this at the break. If you were Rafael Devers, I mean,
it's his own fault.
No, I know, but you got him. You got yourself traded from Boston to the Giants, who at the time were in contention, looked like a pretty decent team. Now Boston's tearing it up. Look like they could be a real threat in the AL, and the Giants just fell off the face of the map. It is odd, though.
I think when Devers got traded, he was assuming, like the rest of us, the Giants were going to do more at the trade deadline.
Yeah,
but then they went in the tank for 10 games in a row,
right? And then they gave up a bunch of top pitchers. Right. It is odd though how the Giants, you think like a storied baseball franchise, like people grow up. There's a lot of Giants fans. It's San Francisco. It's a big market. It is weird how they have not attracted big talent in terms of free agency since all the championships they won in the early 2010s.
Look, man, you win 3 and 5 years. I think you're okay with a couple decades of suck after that, and I think fans are okay with that. They look back at those 3 out of 5 years and they're like, "That was pretty freaking cool. We're gonna be fine with that." We would all take it here in San Diego. Tell me 3 out of the next 5,
totally,
and then 20 years of suck. I'm fine with that. All right, we're gonna take a quick break here. On the other side, it is time. Let's do some running back rankings heading into the NFL season. Pods are up 7-0, by the way. They're dominating right now. It's San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Call Gary Cooper today. He's my friend, 858-376-1299. Call Gary if you have any questions about the home buying process or maybe you're ready to buy a home. Maybe you're ready to buy some land. Gary has an excellent property up in Vista that is ready to be developed and ready to go. Give Gary Cooper a call today, 858-376-1299. He works with Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty. Gary Cooper is Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty, and he prides himself on eliminating the smoke and the mirrors that you're fed when you're in the home buying process, when you're in the home selling process, or if you're trying to refi a loan. Gary Cooper, he really has one mission in mind, and make sure you are leaving his office more educated than when you came in. And then if you decide to work with him, he's going to earn your business. That's exactly what he did for my wife and myself. We're working on getting a home bought here soon, and Gary Cooper is the man we're entrusting with all of that. Call him today, 858-376-1299. He calls it a degree in loanology. And when we went to his office, we sat down for 2 hours with Gary. And after months of talking to different realtors and different mortgage people and feeling lost and confused, Gary Cooper was the one who kind of set us on the straight and narrow. Like I said, he's got an awesome property in Vista right now. He'd be happy to show it to you. It's ready to go, man. It's people who had a line on building a home on this property, did a bunch of work for it, and then it fell through. Well, that property could now be yours, and you can go build your dream house on it. Just give Gary Cooper a call today, 858-376-1299, or visit him online at mountaintrustmortgage.com. Give Gary Cooper a call today. Tell him that Fletch sent you, and you'll have a good time. I promise you that.
This sport is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The Padres are blasting the Giants right now, 7-0. And then the top of the third inning is currently in 0-1 count with nobody out. And Odell Beckham Jr., per NFL Network, has intimated he still wants to play this season despite fake reports he wanted to retire. Progressive Insurance can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if it's something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
San Diego Sports 760. AM radio keeps vital voices accessible. Congress can secure its future, but we need your help. Text AM to 52886 right now to support keeping AM radio in cars. Tell your member of Congress to pass legislation now and keep AM radio in cars. Standard message and data rates do apply. All right, we are getting close, folks. 21 days, 10 hours, 26 minutes, and 45 seconds away from the beginning of the 2025-26 NFL season. I know if you are like me, you're getting excited for this, and your phone is starting to get bombarded by text messages about fantasy football drafts, fantasy football leagues. In fact, Sammy, did Quackdown Padres set up a league?
Quackdown is setting up a league, so we're gonna get some listeners in the league. He was texting me last night.
Quacked.
Yeah, Commissioner Quacked. Quackdown Padres. He has a great account on X. We can go check him out. But yeah, he's gonna start the league, and I believe we're gonna have 12 people in here, and it's gonna be good, and we're gonna get some money involved, even though iHeart may or may not be okay with that, but they don't need to know about it.
That's a really cool way to put that out over the air, Sammy.
Also, by the way, in our personal fantasy football league, Dom and I acquired the -- pick.
How'd you acquire that?
I don't know. I didn't make the picks, but
I know. Weird. I have the 11th pick in the first round. You have
it's inverse order.
It is in reverse order of how you placed.
Well, it's a shame because now I'm here. Dom and I are locked and loaded, ready to go, and you will be kicked from your. Well, you don't really have a throne because you came up short.
I've come in second 3 years in a row in this stupid
What did
league.
Bobby say?
If you
You're
ain't
not
first,
first,
you're last. Well,
Exactly.
you were actually last and also last, and I just was second place and last. But I got my money back each of the last 2 or 3 years.
That's real
I think
cute.
2 years in a row. I'm happy with it. Look, man, anytime you get your money back, just like our buddy Tyler said, you're feeling good about it. All right, running backs heading into this NFL season. James Cook just signed the extension, $30 million guaranteed. What was the total amount of money in that contract?
$48 million.
$48 million over 4 years, 30 of it guaranteed. That's a lot of money to go to a running back, man, who knows how this thing's going to age, but they needed him this year. With that being said, let's get into some running back rankings for the 2025-2026 season. Oh, yes. I was hoping that music was coming, and that music hit it right on time. 949 texts in with his top 5. Number 5, Jahmyr Gibbs. I lost the text. Do you have the text in front of you?
You lost
My
the
text line just completely went down.
I was
know
like, what's going on over
his
there?
first was Saquon Barkley. I know that.
First was Saquon, 2 Derrick Henry, 3 Genty, 4 Brown, and 5 Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs at 5. Man, he feels like he might be moving up that list for me. Janty at 3 is crazy, 949. We haven't seen Ashton Janty take a single snap of NFL football so far.
But is it crazy? Well, first off, I know this is just top 5 running backs, but in terms of, like, I was watching the ESPN Fantasy Football Draft yesterday. In Genty, there's a real thought to taking him in the top 5. I mean, it's not crazy in your fantasy football draft because of the amount of touches he's going to get. Just look back a few years ago. I know it was a different coaching staff, but Josh Jacobs, they ran into the ground.
Did you say number 4 was Brown on 949's list?
Yeah.
Is that Chase Brown with the Bengals?
That's in 949. Is that you're saying, Chase? No.
Look, for fantasy, he's pretty nice. He was a year ago. But 949, clarify that one. Who is Brown?
70470. Start your message with team. Let us know your top 5 running backs heading into the next season. Where do you think James Cook ranks? He just signed his deal today.
I think James Cook is probably at 6 or 7 on that list. Look, James Cook, in terms of importance to his team, is way up in the top 3 or 4, I would say, because they need James Cook. And he's excellent running between the tackles. James Cook doesn't quite have the breakaway speed that some of these guys have. But in terms of staying on balance, the Buffalo Bills need him because they are absolutely a run-first offense that relies a lot on James Cook. But if I'm going to my top 5, I don't think he's necessarily there based on skill and skill alone. Jahmyr Gibbs is a name that's absolutely in my top 5. I think that dude might be the most skilled running back in all of football right now, based on athleticism, based on lateral movement. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is incredible. And number 4 would be my spot for him, I think.
Well, it's interesting. Like 949 text in, he says, yeah, it was Chase Brown. Saquon was so tough with running backs. Like Derrick Henry should have fell off by now. The amount of touches he has taken in this league. But it's interesting. Like, look at 949's top 2. And feel free to text in if you want your top 5 list. Saquon, Derrick Henry. 2 guys who completely changed their seasons, their team seasons last year. Both signed. Derrick Henry with Baltimore. Obviously, Saquon with the Eagles. It is funny how, remember 5 years ago, we couldn't get a running back deal. I mean, literally, Le'Veon Bell, that saga went on forever. He couldn't get a deal. Ended up getting traded to the Jets, sat out a year, and it didn't really work out. But now it's funny how Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry having the seasons they had with their respective teams has now made James Cook sign a 4-year, $48 million contract where I think there's no shot 2 years ago he's signing that. I mean, I don't think that's even being offered at $12 million a year, especially with the amount of really talented late-round running backs that are coming out. But it is funny how the NFL is such a copycat league. Like, you see everyone was out on the running back, and then we see last year them have a lot of success with it. And then now every team feels like they have to have a running back, as evidenced by Ashton Genty getting taken in the one of the top picks in the draft.
I do have my top 5 list. Official, ready to go, trademarked, Ben Fletcher's top 5.
Let's hear it.
It is a little similar, but very different from 949's. Here we go. Christian McCaffrey at number 5. Health pending, of course, just like everything in an NFL season, but Christian McCaffrey still has the skills. He's still going to be a main part of the San Francisco 49ers offense. You're welcome for not putting him higher, but to have a top 5 list at this point and not include Christian McCaffrey seems a little sacrilege. Number 4, Jahmyr Gibbs, who I think is wildly talented. Is he going to be a huge part, even bigger part of the Detroit Lions offense this year? You know why? Because there were 3 weeks in a row last year where David Montgomery was hurt and not playing. Jahmyr Gibbs stepped up in a huge way. 3 is still Derrick Henry. I agree with you, Sammy. Derrick Henry should not be this good anymore. but he still is. And in an offense like Baltimore, that's going to rely so much on him. The touches he's going to get, he's going to be a double-digit touchdown guy once again this year. Derrick Henry still has to be there near the top. My most controversial pick on this list at number 2, Josh Jacobs with the Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
Look, Josh Jacobs got disrespected on his way out of, was he there for the first year in Vegas? Or was he in Oakland?
He was in Vegas. Yeah,
he was there for his first couple of years. Yes. So Josh Jacobs got disrespected on his way out. All he did last year was ball out. He was a steadying force for that Packers offense. He's going to continue to do the same this year. Also, when we talk about health and running backs, has there been one that stayed as healthy as Josh Jacobs through the first part of his career? Reliable, consistent, has great speed, is awesome between the tackles. I love Josh Jacobs, man. I think he's going to have a huge year with the Green Bay Packers this year. And number 1, until proven otherwise, it's Saquon Barkley. The dude almost ripped off 2,000 yards last year. He was the main catalyst to get the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl, and he was the main distraction in the Super Bowl to allow everyone else to go to work. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in football. If he stays healthy, he's going to continue to do so once again this year.
949 says, get off the CMC train, Fletch. LOL.
Why?
Okay, I got my top.
Still not one of the most skilled running backs in all of football?
No, he is. I don't hate you for that. I'm just reading the text. 760's got a top 5. I'm going to read mine, then I'm going to read that one. So I like your list. You left off some crazy omissions, though.
Like Bijan Robinson?
Yes. Where is Bijan Robinson?
He hasn't proved it yet. He should be.
First off,
on Madden, I'm sure he is.
He was first in rushing over Saquon Barkley week 7 on, I believe, last year. Quietly, the drama going on down there with the Falcons was about Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins. People forgot that this guy could flat
Bijan was my
ball.
number 6, by the way.
Okay, so I'm going to go top 5. You also forgot about Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is my 5th running back. Jonathan Taylor is a fantastic player who, again, if he played for someone else besides the fact that it's Indianapolis, and again, bad quarterback situation going on there, I feel like he really gets forgot about. Number 4, I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. It really feels, sacrilegious to leave him off. I mean, year in, year out, he's a fantastic player. And the fact that he gets better as the season goes on. You feel like a running back that would take on the amount of contact that he takes on, you feel like would wear down. He doesn't. And I've never seen a running back of all my years watching football that is scarier in the second half once the linebackers get tired, because he just will absolutely destroy your team in the second half. And then 3rd, I'm going to go for this year, I'm going to go Saquon. I understand him being 1. Third for this upcoming season, because there is some injury concerns. He's a fantastic rusher. He destroyed he didn't really destroy my Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The Eagles did, but he ran his way, the main catalyst for why the Eagles were even there in the first place. But I am a little concerned in terms of fantasy football and this season. This is a guy who's had massive injury concerns, was extremely healthy all last year, and they used him a lot. So I would be a little concerned heading into this season. I'm going to go Jahmyr Gibbs at 2. He's fantastic. I think he's going to have a huge year, especially with Dan Campbell probably wanting to rely on the run game even more, especially after both coordinators leave, Ben Johnson not there, all the trick plays that he would pull out. I think he's going to have a massive season. I would go Bijan 1. I really have so much faith in Bijan Robinson. He is one of the most versatile running backs. And you talk about a college running back who was unstoppable at Texas. I mean, unstoppable. And they didn't even have a quarterback back then. Bijan Robinson, I think, is going to be far and away the best running back this season.
Are you falling into the Falcons trap, where every year we look at the Falcons skill position players and talk about how awesome they are, and then they have underwhelming seasons?
Well, maybe I am. 760 says Bijan 1, Gibbs 2. We're very similar. Gibbs 2, Saquon 3, Henry 4, and Genty 5. I just had Jonathan Taylor at 5 instead of Genty. I feel like he's got to prove it to me before he gets that nod. I'm
so excited for football, man. I'm so excited to see these guys on a daily basis. I still haven't really decided how I want my fantasy teams to look this year, but this is going to be fun. 760 also saying draft rookie running backs in fantasy football this year. There's a few really, really good ones, man. I'm excited to see what they look like as well. Take our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll get you ready for John and Jim and stop off a little bit on the Aztecs news of the day. They have named their starting quarterback. If you missed it, we'll tell you who it is coming up next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Download Prize Picks today. Hey, it's Fletch. Preseason football underway. College football almost here. Don't miss any of the action on Prize Picks. And of course, we still got the rest of the baseball season. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, and you can run your game all season long. I tell you what I love about Prize Picks is the promotions that they're giving out each and every day. For example, if you're interested in making a lineup for tonight, Shohei Ohtani discounted to a half pitcher strikeout for tonight's game where the Dodgers are playing against the Angels. You could get that right now on the Prize Picks app. Download it today. Use promo code Fletch and start getting ready for the football season. Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, they're all ready to go. Are you ready to go? Do you have the skills to win up to 2,000 times your money on Prize Picks? It is my favorite daily fantasy sports app I've ever played because of the promotions. Taco Tuesdays, discounted players hitting the board all day long. Flex Fridays, free $20 entries on the Prize Picks app. They're going to keep you coming back all season long. Plus, Prize Picks invented the Flex Play, which means you could still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can still double your money. Prize Picks is the best spot to win real money this football season and the rest of the baseball season. So what are you waiting for? Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code Fletch. Get a $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. Run your game. Tonight, 6:00, it's SDFC Midweek Live here from the head coach, Mikey Vadas, as well as interviews with players and coaches. Find out the latest club and MLS information, SDFC Midweek Live. Tonight, 6:00, right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. We were supposed to chat with Christopher McVeigh, an excellent defender for SDFC, right now. But couldn't get the schedules to work out, so hopefully we get Chris on soon and catch up with him. That would have been a lot of fun. Speaking of who we are the flagship for, the San Diego State Aztecs, tomorrow night, if you want to go, Fan Fest out at Snapdragon Stadium. Tickets are free. Go to goaztecs.com for you to pick up a couple of tickets. You just have to claim them, and then you can make your way into Snapdragon Stadium. John and Jim will be down there broadcasting live tomorrow from 3 to 7, which is when the little game that they're going to play kicks off. But Sammy and I are going to head out there right after we get off the air. Extended show tomorrow, so maybe 2 separate long shots tomorrow. I don't know how we're going to work this, but we got 3 hours tomorrow. Sammy, are you ready to fill all that in?
I'm ready. We're going to hit a lot of stuff tomorrow. Obviously, Padres, Dodgers, we're going to see where that's at. Coach Quintero will be stopping by at 1:30. I think we're going to get, obviously, NFL. I mean, come on now. And
come on.
Might even get a little UFC fight preview.
We'll be less than 3 weeks away from NFL as of tomorrow.
Oh, my God. I can't even. What are you gonna do opening night? Like, what is your day?
Cry,
like?
cry and eat at the same time.
What are your rules for? I was having a debate with someone about this yesterday. What are your rules for watching games with people? Do you watch games with people? Do you eat during the game? Do you drink during the game? Like what? How do you watch?
It entirely depends on who's playing and what time of year it is.
Niners.
If the Niners are playing, I am at home by myself on the couch. My wife is allowed to be there. Of course she is. She runs my entire life. In fact, if she wants the TV, it's hers. I'll just go with the iPad. But if it's Niners, I'm watching that game. You need to set
some boundaries, dude.
I know. Family comes first, Sammy. You know this. No, as many times as you want to say.
Never put family first.
Get married.
Selfish.
Get married, then try to take away the TV remote from your wife who's watching the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
When I get married, she better be okay. Sundays are blocked off. That's not even a thing.
God, imagine if you marry a Raiders fan.
What, you think we're watching the Raider game over the Chiefs game? You're nuts, dude.
Find your own room then.
Yeah, you have, first off, you having one TV in the house is beyond me.
We have more than one TV. Come on, but we have one comfy couch, so that's where I sit to watch the games. But yeah, Niners game, I don't like to watch with other people. It's got to just be immediate family. I do like to eat during games. My wife makes an awesome 7-layer dip that she usually does for NFL Sundays, and we do sit on the couch and we'll have Red Zone going all day long on the main TV. Second TV comes out. That's whatever game I'm interested in. So the Niners will go on the second TV when they're playing, and Red Zone still stays on the first.
That's wild behavior that the Red Zone is above the Niners.
Niners get the volume. It's just the app is signed in on the main TV, Sammy. All right.
That's crazy. See, I'm during Chiefs games, I can only watch with my parents. We've blacklisted family members. We've had some very heated discussions. One time we had a kind of a family reunion going on at the house, and this was years ago. The Chiefs got eliminated by the Steelers, and then the whole family was getting mad at me and my dad for being upset. So I can't even drink during Chiefs games. I have to be locked in there. Sports bars I'm with to watch other games, but I don't, because the sports bar is kind of the thing we were talking about yesterday. Remember that annoying well, I guess she's a Padre fan, but remember that annoying fan? Well, she's annoying, sorry. That fan sitting in the front row of that game?
Yes.
That's the kind of thing you have to deal with at a sports bar, where you could have that going on. Someone could come in and be like, I want to flip the TV. I want to watch this game. And then if the server doesn't know what's going on, you
almost have to go to a Buffalo Wild Wings where you know what's going to be on the TV.
Right. And they know what's happening, where they allot the situation. I went for March Madness, I went to a bar in LA in Pasadena. It was supposed to be a sports bar.
There's your first mistake.
And what's wrong with that?
I don't know, dude.
But I went to a sports bar in LA, and they didn't even know that March Madness was on.
Yeah, some people are soft, Sammy, but I don't mind the bar experience for it. You just have to get drunk along with everyone else. Now, my wife did try to take me one time to a Packers fans watch party for the Packers-Niners playoff game, and I was a miserable just lump on the couch the whole time. Didn't want to talk to anybody. It's not one of my proudest moments, but I was just mad that I had to go.
You say no to things, right?
No, you can't really when you're married.
Well, then you got to deal with that. That sounds like a you problem.
We left at halftime.
You left at halftime?
Yeah, and then went home and watched the rest of the game, and that's when the Niners came back and won, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, Packers got nothing on us.
That's where you got to go back to the party.
No, dude, that guy was so pissed. He was yelling at the TV. That was a scary day, I tell you what. But I can't wait for this season, man. College football gets started even quicker than that. Aztecs' first game against Stony Brook is going to be on the 28th. John and Jim, I believe, are going to be broadcasting out at Snapdragon that day as well. And then, of course, J.R. Tolver and I will take over right as we get to 2 hours before game time. It's going to be fun, man. If you missed the news, Jaden Denegal, who's the transfer from Michigan, who was on the bench during their national championship run, was named the starter for San Diego State this year. He is 6'5". He is 235, has an absolute cannon of an arm. This dude looks like an NFL quarterback. We'll see how he does leading the Aztecs this year. I'm excited about the prospect of it. You want a guy who obviously 4-star recruit out of high school, right, Sammy?
Yeah, 4-star recruit, backup quarterback at Michigan.
He's got that pedigree. He learned under Jim Harbaugh, at least for a little bit of the time he was there. So Jaden Denegal coming over. This is big time. And the Aztecs have their starting quarterback. Now it's up to him to prove that he can do it. Now it's up to him to run this offense, the Aztec fast offense. I'm excited to see it. I really am. The more I've looked into this Aztecs team, the more I look at the roster, the more I listen to what Sean Lewis is having to say, the more I get excited about this year. It's not going to be a repeat of last year. They needed to go through last year. I will say that. You need to learn what it feels like to lose those games, but this is a completely different team, taking some of the best pieces of what was last year, bringing them back. Tano Latuli on this team, Trey White on this team, Chris Johnson, Deshaun McEwen, Eric Butler. The defense is very, very familiar to what we saw a year ago. In the offense, good luck finding names you recognize, because there's not a whole lot of them outside of left tackle Joe Borjan, who got hurt 5 minutes into the season last year, is back. He's dealing with a nagging little injury right now, but should be ready to go for the season. This should be exciting for Aztecs fans.
Totally. Yeah, I'm excited for this season. The defense has always been there. They brought Sean Lewis over to fix this offense, which has been it's been a tough watch for a couple of years, but you saw last year with Sean Lewis, you saw even with, a young true freshman quarterback, you saw the kind of potential there. You saw the kind of air raid kind of style offense he wants to run. And Denegal is a massive upgrade, I think, over Danny O'Neal, and really excited to see him play. And you got a guy who has been at Michigan, seeing a championship winning team, even though it wasn't playing. Like, you're in a big, massive program with the Big Ten level. It's going to be exciting to see them, and excited to hit up FanFest tomorrow.
Pumped for it. Can't wait. All right. That's it for us today. John and Jim are coming up next. I'm sure they'll have more on the Padres. If you want an update on that game, by the way, 7-0. It's been a barrage of offense for the Padres so far. Really, in the second inning was when they got most of it, but 7-0. As Rich said on YouTube, it appears Robert Suarez will not be needed today. So all of our worrying earlier, Sammy, was for absolutely nothing.
There's still time for Schilt to put him in, so we'll see. Hopefully not.
Could you imagine 15-0? Suarez, you're in, pal.
He'll be like, we don't tip the cap. We wanted to see him out there.
All right. That's it for us. John and Jim next. San Diego Sports 760. We got 3 hours for you tomorrow. See you then.